Without any further ado, how's it going, guys?
It's going well. It's a whirlwind trip to San Diego. So, as you'd mentioned, we went to Gamers Day, where Sony has this event where a lot of journalists show up and they get to check out the latest lineup of games. And so they had a first-party showing on Tuesday, and they're doing their third-party stuff today. And we showed up for the first-party stuff to show off Ratchet and Clank Future, Tools of Destruction. And it went unbelievably well. I think, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was a bit of apprehension that I think everyone had to some degree, because we hadn't shown the gameplay before. We'd shown the trailer, but we actually hadn't shown just the raw gameplay, moment-to-moment stuff. And so, we've been working towards our E3 demo, and which I can say, right?
Sure.
Okay. So I want to make sure, And so, this is the stuff that we showed was from our focus test disc that's currently happening this week. And
we don't do any focus tests.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I think this is the first time we've talked about focus tests, right?
That's right, Yeah, we should have talked more about leading up to our focus test.
Right, I know.
So, we're actually having that this week as well. But we showed a bit of gameplay off from our Kirchu City level, and I ran through it, threw out some Groovatrons, we watched some characters dance, tossed out Tornado Launcher, and controlled it with the 6-axis, and that was kind of fun. And so got a lot of laughs, and we had a ton of people that came up afterwards and kind of all lined up in the queue to check out the game, and then we kind of showed a new level to them, which we hadn't shown before.
Sure. You want to talk a little bit about the new level in just general terms?
Sure. I mean, I guess some of this stuff's going to be released
absolutely.
Today.
You'll be seeing some big screenshots coming out, so might as well...
Sure. So one of the levels that Ratchet and Clank crash land into is called Kobalia, and this is kind of a wild area where they suddenly have to find a way back off, and they just come from a very intense battle, and so now it's kind of like a moment in the game where suddenly they're lost, they got to figure out where to go, and there's these wild creatures. You got these giant centipedes, you got these giant creatures called leviathans that rise up out of the water. And it's got some really cool moments to it. And so we got some really fun reveals. And there's a new gadget that Ratchet discovers called the Jellenator. And that allows you to shoot out globs of gelatonium, which is a Jello-like substance that shakes and wiggles. And Ratchet can shoot out multiple Jello cubes to create these larger cubes that he can then hop on. So... the journalist got a taste of that.
Got a taste of some next-gen jiggle.
That's right. Yes.
I just wish I could do a good Bill Cosby, because it'd be awesome. Would I like to talk to you about Jello pudding pops?
Wow, that was good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
With the bipping and the bopping and the hipping and the hopping.
We need like a Bill Cosby robot or something.
Yeah. We need the guy from The Simpsons. Doctor or whatever his name is.
Yeah, well, I got a phone call from a couple journalists after it was over. They said they couldn't even get close to you guys during the actual demo, because they said, like, when you guys were demoing the game in Kobalia, like, they said they just couldn't even fight their way. There was just a huge crowd the entire time surrounding it. So.
I think I wore out my throat just talking to everyone, answering questions. We had a number of video interviews, and yeah, it was great. Everyone was really happy to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it was really touch and go to be there, and it was great to make it happen. And people seem to be really excited about just the general idea that you can see such improvements and enhancements between the PlayStation 2 version of Ratchet and Clank and the PS3 iteration. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think there was probably a few skeptics a while ago that had seen the trailer and they weren't sure, is that really gameplay? Can we really put all that stuff on screen? And I think we demonstrated in this presentation that we can.
Yeah, and I mean, really, at the end of the day, we could talk about it all we want. We're excited to see what the media has to say and the people who showed up, and we're looking forward to more footage getting out there and more screenshots getting out there, and it'll be up to you guys, and you guys can decide if we're full of it or if we're walking the talk.
Yeah, I think you'll like the screenshots too.
James slaved over them and earned his proverbial wings. How many did we take versus how many are going to be used?
Oh, it was something like, I think we took nearly 100 screens, and we were using, 9 or 10
9
or
or
11?
10.
Yeah, something like that.
no more than 10, I think.
Yeah, it was like 10 tops. So, you get one out of every 10, and I'm pretty picky about the ones that I take anyway. So, I took a lot, but it was a lot of time. I just spent several full days just taking screenshots, but it worked out. It worked out really well, and the big thing is having it all running off disk like we did this time helps a ton, because when you're running off the server and just all the server info like we did for Resistance, it's just much easier to run off a disk and more stable and easier to load levels, and so that was actually really helpful, and I thought it went really smoothly, and I think screenshots will continue to go that way, especially as all the more polish goes in, and it makes it easier to show the game off. But it looks. I thought it sounded like it went really well. Very cool. Well, let's get into. I know we already talked a little bit about a Ratchet update, but let's move a little full bore into some of the stuff that's been going on. I mean, we had Gamers Day.
Yep.
We obviously just finished the Focus Disc. And it was kind of fun because we had a bunch of kids who were like kind of friends and family of Insomniac to play this round, and so it's always entertaining when at Insomniac you have little kids running around because it's just like it's Twilight Zone-ish. But how did everything go with that last week?
Oh, it went really well. I mean, we got some really good feedback from everyone, and we got some really honest feedback too. I mean, I think, I thought, well, let's see, we fed them, we even actually paid them for their time. We took them around the office and gave them a tour. I mean, why wouldn't they say, everything was perfect? But we actually got some great feedback of some points that they found were frustrating, that needed, improvements, and something just happened.
Ryan just took his shoes off over here. And it's like, I'm like, whoa.
Is it bad? Is it bad?
No, I have no
I don't
idea.
smell anything. So, of course, I'm across the room here. Fortunately, I can roll back
Whoever
in my
smelt
chair.
it dealt it.
Yeah.
Brian's on the other side of the table.
Silent but deadly. Okay, so it's actually, I don't smell anything. I don't know how James is doing.
My feet were hurting. All right,
James
leave me
started
alone.
to
I've been
cry.
standing for 2 days.
No, it's all good.
Anywho, the kids, they really liked it a lot. They had a blast, and all of them, rated it as the top score, so they would, recommend it to a friend, which is kind of the key question that we ask people. We don't ask, would you buy it? We ask, would you recommend it to a friend? And that usually means, yes, they would buy it if they say they would.
Yep.
So, but yeah, there was some great stuff where there was just this one particular gadget that people found really frustrating, and we got to kind of have fun with one of the designers who had worked on it and gave him a bit of a hard time. All in good fun, of course. But I think that we made a number of fixes that improved it that I think we'll find in the Sony Focus test will make it a lot more fun to play.
Sure. And we've got that focus test going on right now.
That's happening as we speak. Actually, I have to talk to our designers to get updates on that, and we'll be giving that stuff in our next podcast.
Oh, that would explain why a lot of people are missing over there.
Yeah. And we try to get most of the designers over there, so it gets kind of crowded if you have more than 2 or 3 in the focus test room. But we have a couple going up these 2 days, and a couple more going up later in the week. I'm actually going to go up tomorrow, and then I'll be there for up to Saturday.
Oh, cool. Very cool.